Have you ever wondered if a married woman is attracted to you? What if I told you that her greeting, those first few moments of interaction, can reveal her true feelings? Let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was at a social event, and I started talking to this married woman. She greeted me with a warm smile, held eye contact a little longer than usual, and even touched my arm lightly when she laughed at my joke. At the time I thought, is she just being friendly, or is there something more going on here? I spent days replaying that moment in my head, trying to figure out what it meant. Was she just being polite, or was she subtly showing interest? It was frustrating, confusing, and honestly, a little overwhelming. But here's the thing, that experience taught me something invaluable. The way a married woman greets you, those first few seconds of interaction, can reveal so much about her true feelings. And if you know what to look for, you'll never have to second-guess yourself again. That's why I made this video. Today, I'm revealing 7 subtle ways a married woman's greeting can reveal her attraction to you. These aren't just random guesses, they're backed by modern psychology and timeless Stoic wisdom. The Stoics believed that actions, not words, reveal the truth. As Marcus Aurelius once said, what we do now echoes in eternity. So if you've ever wondered, is she into me? Or what does her greeting really mean? This video is for you. Stick around, because by the end of it, you'll have the tools you need to decode her behavior and understand her true feelings. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, it's Adam Stone here, and welcome to Stoic Stream, the place where we explore the art of relationships, self-mastery, and living a meaningful life through the lens of Stoicism. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us. Before we dive into today's topic, I want to take a quick second to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. If you've been here for a while, you already know how much I appreciate you. Seriously, your comments, likes, and shares mean the world to me. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Now let's talk about today's topic. 7 ways a married woman's greeting reveals her attraction to you. This is something I know a lot of you have been wondering about, and I'm excited to share it with you. But here's the twist. We're not just looking at surface-level signs. We're diving deeper using psychological principles and Stoic philosophy to understand what her greeting really means. The Stoics believed in observing actions over words because actions reveal true intentions. As Marcus Aurelius once said, what we do now echoes in eternity. In other words, it's not what people say that matters, it's what they do. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. So, whether you're someone who's ever felt unsure about how to interpret a married woman's greeting, or you're just curious about the signs to look for in the future, this video is for you. By the end of it, you'll have a clear understanding of how to spot her attraction through her greeting and how Stoicism can help you interpret these clues. Now, before we get into the list, I want you to do something for me. As we go through each way, think about how you can apply it in your own life. And hey, if you're watching this with a friend, make it fun. Pause the video and discuss each clue as we go. Oh, and don't forget to drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Have you noticed any of these signs before? Or maybe you've got a story about a time when you decoded someone's greeting. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Seriously, I read every single comment. All right, enough chit-chat. Let's dive into the first way and uncover the secrets of a married woman's greeting. Ready? Let's go. Way 1. She maintains prolonged eye contact. Let's start with the first way. She maintains prolonged eye contact. When a married woman is attracted to you, she'll often hold your gaze longer than usual. It's not just a quick glance, it's a deep, intentional connection. From a psychological perspective, eye contact is one of the most powerful forms of nonverbal communication. It's how we connect with others on a deeper level, and it's often the first thing we notice when we're talking to someone. When someone maintains strong eye contact with you, they're showing you that they're fully present and engaged in the moment. From a Stoic perspective, eye contact is a sign of honesty and presence. Seneca once wrote, "The eyes are the windows to the soul." When someone looks into your eyes, they're showing you their true self. No masks, no pretenses. But here's the Stoic twist. Strong eye contact also reveals her willingness to be vulnerable with you. Vulnerability, according to the Stoics, is the foundation of trust and emotional connection. When she holds your gaze, she's opening herself up to you, showing you that she trusts you enough to let you see the real her. Let's break this down even further. Imagine you're having a conversation with a married woman, and she's looking directly into your eyes the entire time. Not in a creepy, intense way, but in a warm, inviting way. She's not glancing around the room or checking her phone. She's fully focused on you. That's a clear sign she's emotionally interested. And it's not just about the duration of the eye contact, it's also about the quality. If her eyes are soft and warm, that's a good sign. If she's smiling while she's looking at you, that's even better. It's her way of saying, "I enjoy being with you and I want to connect with you on a deeper level." Now, here's something to keep in mind. Strong eye contact can feel intense, especially if you're not used to it. But if she's maintaining eye contact with you in a way that feels comfortable and natural, that's a big sign. She's emotionally invested in you. So, how can you spot this in real life? Pay attention to her eye contact when you're together. Is she holding your gaze longer than usual? Is she looking into your eyes in a way that feels warm and inviting? If so, that's a big sign she's emotionally interested. And here's a little pro tip. If you want to test this out, try holding her gaze for a few seconds longer than usual and see how she responds. Does she hold your gaze too, or does she look away? It's a simple way to gauge her level of interest. But remember, strong eye contact is just one clue. It's not a guarantee, but it's definitely a strong indicator of emotional interest. So if you've noticed a married woman maintaining prolonged eye contact with you, take it as a sign that she's emotionally invested in you. Because when someone cares, they don't just look at you, they see you. And here's the Stoic takeaway. Strong eye contact is a reminder to stay present and authentic in your interactions. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When someone looks into your eyes, they're showing you the color of their soul. It's a beautiful, powerful way of saying, "I see you, I hear you, and I'm with you." So the next time you're talking to a married woman, pay attention to her eye contact. Is she maintaining prolonged eye contact with you? If so, take it as a sign that she's emotionally interested. And hey, if you've noticed this before, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Way 2, she smiles genuinely. Next up, we have she smiles genuinely. When a married woman is attracted to you, her smile will be warm, authentic, and heartfelt. It's not just a polite smile, it's a smile that reaches her eyes and lights up her entire face. From a psychological perspective, a genuine smile is a sign of positive emotions and attraction. It's her way of showing you that she enjoys your company and feels comfortable around you. From a Stoic perspective, a genuine smile reflects inner peace and contentment. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When she smiles genuinely, she's showing you that her thoughts are positive and that she's happy to be with you. Let's break this down even further. Imagine you're having a conversation with a married woman and she's smiling at you in a way that feels warm and inviting. Her eyes are crinkling at the corners and her smile seems to light up the room. That's a genuine smile, and it's a clear sign that she's emotionally interested in you. But here's the thing, not all smiles are created equal. A polite smile might be tight-lipped and fleeting, while a genuine smile is open, relaxed, and lasting. So, how can you tell the difference? From a psychological perspective, a genuine smile involves the whole face, not just the mouth. It's called the Duchenne smile, named after the French neurologist who first studied it. When someone smiles genuinely, the corners of their mouth turn up and their eyes crinkle at the corners. From a Stoic perspective, a genuine smile is a reflection of inner harmony. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When she smiles genuinely, she's showing you that she's fully present in the moment and enjoying your company. Let's take it a step further. Imagine you're on a date and she's telling you a funny story. If she's smiling genuinely, her whole face will light up and her laughter will be natural and unrestrained. That's her way of saying, I enjoy being with you and I want to connect with you on a deeper level. Now, here's something to keep in mind. A genuine smile can feel contagious. When someone smiles at you in a way that's warm and authentic, it's hard not to smile back. So if you find yourself smiling back at her, that's a good sign that her smile is genuine. So how can you spot this in real life? Pay attention to her smile when you're together. Is it warm and inviting? Does it reach her eyes? If so, that's a big sign she's emotionally interested. And here's a little pro tip. If you want to test this out, try sharing a funny story or a light-hearted joke and see how she responds. Does she smile genuinely and laugh along with you? It's a simple way to gauge her level of interest. But remember, a genuine smile is just one clue. It's not a guarantee, but it's definitely a strong indicator of emotional interest. So if you've noticed a married woman smiling genuinely at you, take it as a sign that she's emotionally invested in you. Because when someone cares, they don't just smile, they mean it. And here's the Stoic takeaway. A genuine smile is a reminder to stay present and authentic in your interactions. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. By smiling genuinely, she's showing you that she's true to herself and that she values your presence in her life. So the next time you're talking to a married woman, pay attention to her smile. Is it warm, authentic, and heartfelt? If so, take it as a sign that she's emotionally interested. And hey, if you've noticed this before, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Way 3. She initiates physical contact. Now, let's dive into the third sign. When she initiates physical contact, this is where things can get really interesting and also really tricky. Physical touch is one of the most powerful forms of nonverbal communication. It can convey warmth, connection, and even attraction. But it's also a delicate area that requires careful navigation. So, let's break this down step by step. First, let's talk about what initiating physical contact might look like. It could be a light touch on your arm during a conversation, a hug that feels a little more personal than usual, or even brushing against you as she walks by. These gestures might seem casual, but they can sometimes indicate a desire for closer connection. For example, imagine you're at a social gathering and she greets you with a hug. But this isn't just a quick, polite hug. It's one that lingers for a second longer than necessary. Or maybe she places her hand on your arm while laughing at your joke. These small actions can speak volumes. But here's the thing. Not all physical contact is created equal. Context matters. A touch in a professional setting might mean something completely different than a touch in a casual, social environment. And cultural norms play a role too. In some cultures, physical touch is a common way of expressing friendliness, while in others, it's reserved for closer relationships. So before jumping to conclusions, consider the context and the relationship you have with her. Now let's talk about the psychology behind physical touch. Research shows that touch releases oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone. This hormone promotes feelings of trust, connection, and affection. So when she initiates physical contact, it could be a subconscious way of building a deeper bond with you. But as Stoics, we must remain grounded and avoid letting physical sensations cloud our judgment. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, but true strength lies in maintaining emotional balance. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, and let go of what we can't. So if she initiates physical contact, ask yourself, is this interaction aligned with my values and respect for boundaries? If the answer is yes, proceed with caution and mindfulness. Enjoy the connection, but don't let it escalate into something that could compromise your integrity or hers. If the answer is no, it's okay to step back and create some distance. Remember, self-control is one of the greatest Stoic virtues. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine a man named Marcus, yes, named after the famous Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Marcus was at a networking event when a married woman he knew approached him. She greeted him with a warm hug and later placed her hand on his arm while they were talking. Marcus noticed these gestures and felt a mix of emotions, flattery, curiosity, and even a bit of confusion. But instead of acting on impulse, he took a moment to reflect. He asked himself, what's the most respectful and ethical way to respond? He decided to enjoy the interaction but kept his boundaries clear. By doing so, he maintained his integrity and avoided any potential misunderstandings. So, what can we learn from Marcus's story? First, always be mindful of your own emotions and responses. Second, respect boundaries, both yours and hers. And third, focus on what you can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you'll navigate these situations with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, if she initiates physical contact, it could be a subtle sign of attraction. But it's also an opportunity to practice self-awareness and emotional balance. Observe without attachment, act with integrity, and remember, the most attractive quality you can have is self-control. Way 4, she compliments you now. Let's dive into the fourth sign, when she compliments you. Compliments are like little gifts. They can brighten your day, boost your confidence, and make you feel valued. But when a married woman goes out of her way to compliment you, it could be a subtle sign of attraction. So let's unpack this in detail and explore what it really means, and how you can respond with wisdom and integrity. First, let's talk about what these compliments might look like. They could be about your appearance. Maybe she says something like, "You look really sharp today," or "Yeah, that color looks great on you." Or they could be about your achievements. "I heard about your promotion, that's amazing." Or, "You're so talented at what you do." Sometimes, the compliments might even be about your personality. "You're such a great listener," or "You always know how to make people laugh." These compliments aren't just polite remarks, they're a way of expressing admiration and interest. But here's the thing, not all compliments are created equal. Some are genuine, while others might be more casual or even obligatory. So how can you tell the difference? Pay attention to her tone, body language, and the context. A genuine compliment is usually specific, heartfelt, and delivered with warmth. For example, if she says, "You have such a calming presence, it's really refreshing," and she looks you in the eye with a smile, it's likely coming from a place of sincerity. Now let's talk about the psychology behind compliments. When someone compliments you, it activates the reward centers in your brain, releasing dopamine, the feel-good chemical. This creates a positive association with the person giving the compliment, which can strengthen your bond. So when she compliments you, it could be a way of building rapport and expressing her interest. But as Stoics, we must remain humble and not let flattery inflate our ego. It's easy to get swept up in the moment when someone says something nice about us, but true strength lies in staying grounded. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, and let go of what we can't. So, if she compliments you, how should you respond first? Accept the compliment graciously. A simple, "Thank you, I appreciate that," is enough. Avoid deflecting or downplaying the compliment, as this can come across as insecure. But also, don't let the compliment dictate your self-worth or actions. Remember, your value doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine a man named Seneca. Yes, named after the famous Stoic philosopher Seneca. Seneca was at a dinner party when a married woman he knew complimented him on his sense of humor. She said, "You always know how to lighten the mood. It's one of the things I admire most about you." Seneca felt a surge of pride, but also a moment of reflection. He asked himself, how should I respond to this? He decided to thank her sincerely, but didn't let the compliment go to his head. Instead, he focused on being present in the moment and enjoying the conversation without any ulterior motives. By doing so, he maintained his integrity and avoided any potential misunderstandings. So what can we learn from Seneca's story? First, always be mindful of your own emotions and responses. Second, accept compliments graciously, but don't let them inflate your ego. And third, focus on what you can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you'll navigate these situations with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, if she compliments you, it could be a subtle sign of attraction, but it's also an opportunity to practice humility and self-awareness. Accept the compliment with gratitude, but don't let it define you. Remember, the most attractive quality you can have is authenticity and integrity. Way 5. She asks personal questions. Now let's dive into the fifth sign, when she asks personal questions. This is where things can get really interesting and also really revealing. When a married woman goes beyond small talk and shows genuine curiosity about your life, feelings, or experiences, it could be a subtle sign of attraction, but it's also an opportunity to practice emotional intelligence and set healthy boundaries. So let's unpack this in detail and explore what it really means and how you can respond with wisdom and integrity. First, let's talk about what these personal questions might look like. They could be about your day-to-day life. How's work been lately? Or what do you like to do in your free time? Or they could be more intimate. How are you really feeling about everything going on? Or what's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet? Sometimes the questions might even be about your past or future. What was your childhood like? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years? These questions aren't just casual conversation. They're a way of building emotional intimacy and creating a deeper connection. But here's the thing, not all personal questions are created equal. Some are genuine, while others might be more superficial or even intrusive. So how can you tell the difference? Pay attention to her tone, body language, and the context. Genuine curiosity is usually accompanied by active listening. She maintains eye contact, nods, and responds thoughtfully. For example, if she asks, "What's something you're really passionate about?" and she leans in, genuinely interested in your answer, it's likely coming from a place of sincerity. Now let's talk about the psychology behind personal questions. When someone asks you personal questions, it's a way of showing that they value your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It's also a way of building trust and rapport. Research shows that sharing personal information activates the brain's reward system, releasing oxytocin, the bonding hormone. So when she asks personal questions, it could be a way of deepening her connection with you. But as Stoics, we must remain mindful of our own boundaries and emotional well-being. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, and let go of what we can't. So if she asks personal questions, how should you respond? First, be honest and authentic. Share what feels comfortable, but don't feel pressured to reveal more than you're ready to. Second, set healthy boundaries. If a question feels too intrusive, it's okay to politely redirect the conversation. And third, focus on the present moment. Enjoy the interaction, but don't let it escalate into something that could compromise your integrity or hers. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine a man named Epictetus. Yes, named after the famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Epictetus was at a social gathering when a married woman he knew started asking him personal questions. She asked about his career, his hobbies, and even his dreams for the future. Epictetus noticed her genuine interest, but also felt a moment of reflection. He asked himself, how much should I share? He decided to answer honestly, but kept his responses balanced, sharing enough to connect, but not so much that it crossed any boundaries. By doing so, he maintained his integrity and avoided any potential misunderstandings. So, what can we learn from Epictetus's story? First, always be mindful of your own boundaries and emotional well-being. Second, engage with honesty and authenticity, but don't feel pressured to reveal more than you're comfortable with. And third, focus on what you can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you'll navigate these situations with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, if she asks personal questions, it could be a subtle sign of attraction, but it's also an opportunity to practice emotional intelligence and set healthy boundaries. Share what feels comfortable, but don't let the conversation compromise your integrity. Remember, the most attractive quality you can have is self-awareness and authenticity. Way 6. She mirrors your behavior. Now, let's dive into the 6th sign when she mirrors your behavior. This is one of the most fascinating and subtle ways someone can show attraction. Mirroring is a subconscious behavior where someone mimics your body language, tone of voice, or even your gestures. It's a powerful way of building rapport and creating a sense of connection. But what does it mean when a married woman mirrors your behavior, and how should you respond? Let's unpack this in detail and explore what it really means and how you can navigate it with wisdom and integrity. First, let's talk about what mirroring might look like. Imagine you're having a conversation with her and you notice that she's subtly copying your movements. If you lean forward, she leans forward. If you cross your arms, she crosses her arms. If you speak softly, she lowers her voice to match yours. These are all examples of mirroring. It's not something people do consciously. It's a natural way of showing that they're in sync with you and feel a sense of connection. But here's the thing, mirroring isn't always a sign of attraction. It can also happen in platonic or professional relationships as a way of building rapport. So how can you tell the difference? Pay attention to the context and the intensity of the mirroring. If she's mirroring your behavior in a way that feels deliberate or exaggerated, it could be a subtle sign of attraction. For example, if you notice her copying your gestures frequently and with enthusiasm, it's likely coming from a place of genuine connection. Now let's talk about the psychology behind mirroring. Research shows that mirroring activates the brain's mirror neuron system, which is responsible for empathy and social bonding. When someone mirrors your behavior, it creates a sense of familiarity and trust. It's like your brain is saying, this person gets me. So when she mirrors your behavior, it could be a way of expressing that she feels connected to you. But as Stoics, we must remain mindful of our own emotions and responses. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, but true strength lies in maintaining emotional balance. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, and let go of what we can't. So if you notice her mirroring your behavior, how should you respond? First, observe without attachment. Notice the behavior, but don't jump to conclusions or let it inflate your ego. Second, stay authentic. Don't change your behavior to test whether she'll mirror you. That's manipulative and goes against Stoic principles. And third, focus on the present moment. Enjoy the connection, but don't let it escalate into something that could compromise your integrity or hers. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine a man named Zeno, yes, named after the founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium. Zeno was at a networking event when he noticed a married woman he knew subtly mirroring his behavior. When he leaned in to listen, she leaned in too. When he smiled, she smiled back. Zeno noticed this pattern and felt a mix of curiosity and caution. He asked himself, how should I respond to this? He decided to stay present in the moment and enjoy the interaction without overanalyzing it. By doing so, he maintained his integrity and avoided any potential misunderstandings. So, what can we learn from Zeno's story? First, always be mindful of your own emotions and responses. Second, observe mirroring without attachment. It's a natural behavior, not a definitive sign of attraction. And third, focus on what you can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you'll navigate these situations with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, if she mirrors your behavior, it could be a subtle sign of attraction, but it's also an opportunity to practice self-awareness and emotional balance. Observe without attachment, stay authentic, and remember, the most attractive quality you can have is self-control and integrity. Way 7, she creates opportunities to be near you. Now let's dive into the 7th and final sign, when she creates opportunities to be near you. This is where things can get really interesting and also really revealing. When a married woman goes out of her way to position herself close to you, finds reasons to stay in your presence, or arranges situations where you'll cross paths, it could be a subtle sign of attraction, but it's also an opportunity to practice mindfulness and set healthy boundaries. So let's unpack this in detail and explore what it really means, and how you can respond with wisdom and integrity. First, let's talk about what creating opportunities to be near you might look like. Imagine you're at a social gathering and she positions herself next to you at the dinner table, even though there are plenty of other seats available. Or maybe she accidentally bumps into you at the coffee shop or finds reasons to visit your workspace more often than necessary. These actions might seem coincidental, but when they happen repeatedly, they could indicate a desire to be closer to you. But here's the thing. Not all proximity is created equal. Sometimes people naturally gravitate toward those they feel comfortable with, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything more than that. So how can you tell the difference? Pay attention to the context and the frequency. If she's consistently finding ways to be near you, even in situations where it's not necessary or expected, it could be a subtle sign of attraction. For example, if she goes out of her way to sit next to you at every event or just happens to be in the same place as you frequently, it's likely coming from a place of intentionality. Now let's talk about the psychology behind proximity. Research shows that physical closeness can create a sense of intimacy and connection. When someone positions themselves near you, it's a way of saying, I want to be part of your space. It's also a way of testing the waters, seeing how you respond to their presence. But as Stoics, we must remain mindful of our own emotions and responses. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, but true strength lies in maintaining emotional balance. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, and let go of what we can't. So if she creates opportunities to be near you, how should you respond? First, observe without attachment. Notice her behavior, but don't jump to conclusions or let it inflate your ego. Second, set healthy boundaries. If her actions make you uncomfortable, it's okay to create some distance. And third, focus on the present moment. Enjoy the interaction, but don't let it escalate into something that could compromise your integrity or hers. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine a man named Cato, yes, named after the famous Stoic Cato the Younger. Cato was at a community event when he noticed a married woman he knew consistently finding ways to be near him. She sat next to him during the meeting, stood close to him during the networking session, and even offered to walk him to his car afterward. Cato noticed this pattern and felt a mix of curiosity and caution. He asked himself, how should I respond to this? He decided to stay present in the moment and enjoy the interaction without over-analyzing it. By doing so, he maintained his integrity and avoided any potential misunderstandings. So what can we learn from Cato's story? First, always be mindful of your own emotions and responses. Second, observe her behavior without attachment. It's a natural tendency, not a definitive sign of attraction. And third, focus on what you can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control how you respond. By staying grounded in Stoic principles, you'll navigate these situations with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, if she creates opportunities to be near you, it could be a subtle sign of attraction. But it's also an opportunity to practice mindfulness and set healthy boundaries. Observe without attachment, set boundaries if needed, and remember, the most attractive quality you can have is self-control and integrity. If you found this video insightful and thought-provoking, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Stream for more content on relationships, self-improvement, and Stoic philosophy. Your support means the world to me, and it helps this community grow stronger every day. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on the tools and wisdom you need to navigate life's challenges with clarity and courage. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, have you ever noticed these signs in your interactions? How did you handle it? Your stories and insights are what make this community so special, and I read every single comment. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, drop them below. I'm always listening. And if you're ready to take your Stoic journey to the next level, check out the links in the description. I've included some of my favorite books, resources, and even a free guide to help you apply Stoic principles in your daily life. Remember, Stoicism isn't just about understanding the world, it's about transforming yourself and living with purpose. Finally, if you know someone who could benefit from this video, share it with them. Whether it's a friend, family member, or colleague, spreading this knowledge can make a real difference in their lives. Together, we can build a community of mindful, resilient, and empowered individuals. Thank you for being part of Stoic Stream. I'm so grateful to have you here. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. I'm Adam Stone, and this is Stoic Stream, your go-to channel for practical wisdom, emotional resilience, and timeless philosophy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my next one where we'll dive into T's next topic, e.g., how to cultivate emotional resilience in challenging relationships, or the Stoic art of letting go. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Remember, life is full of challenges, but with Stoicism as your guide, you have the tools to face them with strength and grace. Whether you're navigating complex relationships, pursuing your goals, or simply striving to be a better version of yourself, the Stoic principles we discuss here can light the way. Until next time, stay Stoic, stay mindful, and keep streaming wisdom. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.